Breaking news tonight as we learn the final ruling regarding the Supreme Court case Kyllo v. United States. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Kyllo in a 5-4 decision. We now go to Aaron Adams to give you some background information on the case. Thanks, Jonathan. A Department of the Interior agent, suspicious that Danny Kyllo was growing marijuana, used a thermal imaging device to scan his triplex. The imaging was used to determine the amount of heat emanating from the home was consistent with the high-intensity lamps typically used for indoor marijuana growth. Subsequently, the imaging revealed that relatively hot areas existed compared to the rest of the home. Based on informants, utility bills, and the thermal imaging, a federal magistrate judge issued a warrant to search Kyllo's home. The search unveiled growing marijuana. After Kyllo was indicted on a federal drug charge, he unsuccessfully moved to suppress the evidence seized from his home and then entered a conditional guilty plea, ultimately affirming. The Court of Appeals held that Kyllo had shown no subjective expectation of privacy because he had made no attempt to conceal the heat escaping from his home. And even if he had, there was no objective, reasonable expectation of privacy because the imager did not expose any intimate details of Kyllo's life, only amorphous hot spots on the roof and interior wall. Now, to Justice H. Soham, who is going to interview Justice Scalia.
Thanks, Aaron. Here's some questions that arose in the Kyllo v. United States case. Here's Ella for more information.
Thanks, Soham. So the main question comes down to whether the use of a thermal imaging device aimed at a private home from a public street to detect relative amounts of heat within the home constitutes a search within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment. Here's Supreme Court Justice Scalia's opinion ruling in favor of Kyllo.
With few exceptions, the question whether a warrantless search of a home is reasonable and hence constitutional must be answered no. On the other hand, whether or not a Fourth Amendment search has occurred is not so simple under our precedent.
Go.
Thanks. Now hear the facts of the precedent with Justice Scalia.
The criteria in the Fourth Amendment violation now is embodied in the principle first enunciated in a case called Katz versus United States, which held unconstitutional. The place overhearing of a phone conversation inside a public phone booth achieved by attaching a listening device to the exterior of the booth. As Justice Harlan's concurrence in that case described it, a Fourth Amendment search occurs when the government violates a subjective expectation of privacy that society recognizes as reasonable. The Katz test has often been criticized as a circular and hence subjective and unpredictable. The surveillance is a search and is presumptively unreasonable without a warrant. Dang, that was a tight case. Now, here's an overview in the newsroom.
Thanks, Ella. As we have been learning more about the Fourth Amendment, we now know that this case relates to the issue regarding unreasonable searches.
Kyllo v. United States confirmed the expectation of privacy in one's home and limited the means by which the government can explore the home without a warrant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who is it?
I know you have weed in here.
Hey, stop searching my
I know you have
stuff!
weed in here.
You can't search my stuff without consent! You have no probable cause!
Here's my warrant.
This warrant was obtained illegally!
I know you have weed in here.
This warrant is not valid! This is an illegally obtained warrant!
Under what case?
Under Katz v. the U.S.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Never mind.